And we are live. So, this is the regular meeting of Project Rundfunk mitbestimmen at Agile Ventures. And it's currently 6 minutes up to 9 o'clock. But we are going to start because probably it will be just the two of us. It's Matt and me, Robert. I'm currently in a hostel in Amsterdam, so I apologize maybe for the background noise or for the video connection. Matt was working on some front-end testing, and he's going to push the code. I'm going to share my screen in a minute, and let's see what the problem is. I can already share my screen, I guess.
Oh, that's the. Oh, okay, that's his friend.
So, localhost 7357.
I pushed my code.
All right, I think thus far I have one failing front-end test, which is supposed to fail because
I forgot to mention that yeah, this one I was failing on mine as well. I forgot to mention that I changed some of the integration component tests for the demographic farm test to because when it was searching based on the gender drop-down ID, it was actually searching all of the available options. And so I switched it to check the class text, which I added back the default texts to the drop-downs because that way when you register your gender or your age group, it actually does change and displays.
It's starting to get a little bit louder. Matt, if it's going to be too loud, just tell me. I hope you can still understand my voice. Can you?
Yeah, I can still hear.
So just tell me when the noise, when I have to switch the room first. I don't know. Like if you cannot understand me anymore. So what's here? We can discard that change. And now, typo. Let's see what Matt just pushed. So this is the commit, and if I say git show, I can see what has changed. So there's the default text, gender, and age group. Interesting. So, what's the effect of having this default? Yeah.
So yeah.
So I get it. So I was wondering, why is there no selected value in this drop-downs? And your commit now is making everything very much clear. So what's going on here is that apparently the component #UI dropdown, which comes from this plugin Semantic UI for Amber, this dropdown renders or updates the text that is in here. So if there is no div with the class default text, then you will never see anything.
Yeah. So you could actually probably just leave that blank, and then it would just
exactly. So this is what I would like to find out for the moment. Demographic form handlebars. There's gender somewhere, because this is a bilingual site. I will try to not hard code English labels into the template. So
yeah, there's another place on the production site.
Yeah, because I am female. So I'm not female, but in the test I'm not female. Right.
Nice.
Yeah, but that's looking great. Cool. So awesome. Next thing.
Yeah, did you see what I did with the test?
So I would say that this is not like necessary. So what was your intent while doing this here?
What happened, actually, this second test displays the age group by default. This one is still failing, and it's when you pass in the birthday of 1986, it expects the screen 45 or 49, which is weird. So that's why I stopped on this, because I decided to go check out the actual, it's actually, the implementation is actually working, you know?
Yeah. So let's check out. We got a notification we pushed something. Let's check out the demographic form test. So this is the test you were talking about. You say that, as far as I understand you, that it's checking by so we have an authenticated user.
Yeah, this current user, if you pass in, I've changed the gender from male to female, and I've checked that the test passes when you look for the in the class text of the gender dropdown. If you look that it has the uppercase male, and it works for female, it works for other as well. And so it is getting this information from the current user, but for some reason, yeah.
So you say when I do this, it will still work?
No, it'll fail. Now it'll fail. It was if you remove the class.text and just look in the gender ID gender dropdown how it was, then it will pass no matter what, because it just looks inside of all of the dropdown and it finds whatever you're looking for, whatever the options are.
Yeah, and that's probably because the hierarchy of those menu items is, let's see. So the text method returns the entire text of a node.
Yeah, because there's a class
gender dropdown with the ID gender dropdown. Everything that's in here, including those three menu items, with currently nothing. Oh no, yeah, we have it here.
Yeah,
another.
Yeah,
those three will be in the results set.
Yeah. So this is when I was debugging it. You can see when the test fails where it's looking. I changed the value to pizza just to get it to fail, because it was passing, and I didn't think it should be passing with the lowercase male. And then you could see it in the outputs, you know. So then that led me to that that class that when it's defined as, and if you look at that, then that will just look at what is displayed.
Can you repeat the last sentence, please?
That will just look at what is displayed for the user.
Right. We should see that actually in the test. So I just entered the good old console log, and we are supposed to see in the console the value of the node somewhere. A lot of deprecation warnings. More deprecation warnings. Now my scroll is frozen. There you go. So this is how it looks.
Yeah.
Right? So there's male, which is probably the selected item. And then there's the other three ones.
Yeah.
And that's unfortunate, because we want only to have the text. So probably when we say that's what you're saying, this is more specific. So .text is really the actual
the displayed value.
No, because this within gender dropdown, this diff item here, which is empty by default, and gets so the default text is not actually the default text, actually the select value, right?
He plays the
No?
I didn't understand that last part.
so the criminal molesting.
So maybe the connection just dropped, but can you still hear me?
Yeah, I heard you. I just I didn't understand what you're saying. Like the default value is not.
Yeah, so it's actually not default text because this component renders the value in here, right? This is where your pizza goes. No, but this is the place where you have mail or email.
Yeah.
Sorry.
Well, yeah. It's
So this jQuery or the CSS selector refers to this node. And this will only have email, mail, depending what's currently selected. So that was a great mutant test. Yesterday I chatted or I put in Slack that you're supposed to test your tests, whether they do anything, like whether they check anything at all.
Yeah.
So you destroy something, you make something, you introduce a bug, and then you check whether or not
it's actually doing what you think it's doing.
Yeah. So then when you introduce a bug, you want the test to fail. If it doesn't, you have a problem. That's what you discover.
The other thing is that I thought was interesting is that when you use the user name, test in the fail as a lowercase, but
right.
it gets interpreted and gets capitalized somewhere in the back.
Normally, you wouldn't have all lowercase letters mail. So usually it's case sensitive. So this can only be, as you said, because male, the lowercase letter M-A-L-E, are parts of the word female.
Yeah.
Therefore, the test passes because it will find this word somewhere in the test, somewhere in the text. I'm sorry. This one here, this function returns a text. And this one, because it has the word female capitalized, like female. This is the place where, it's tricky. Good catch. Yeah, it's always.
However, the second test on starting on line 64, for some reason,
I knew that. I was like, I don't know how.
Yours, but it was telling that it was expecting the string to be 45 to 49.
It was expecting the string to be 45 to 49.
Yeah. If you go to that test in your browser.
What? What's it, how much?
Yes, here. Expected 45 to 49.
Interesting.
1986.
So how old is our?
That would be 33.
So birthday actually means birthday. And in JavaScript, we have a separate date type for dates.
That's okay.
So we have a date. The date is, I think, internally it's. Yeah, we have it here. So it's internally it's just an integer, number of milliseconds since the 1st January 1970. UTC. But you can parse dates from strings. You'll do its best to translate that back to, I think that's called remix time.
Why are you asking? He looks like he wants to rape my friend, and she was only 19. He doesn't look like 19.
So the picture was quite just half an hour ago. Something can happen. I don't know. But yeah. So where's I? Yeah, Unix time. I think it's mainly Is it that? It's Unix time, the number of milliseconds since 1970?
I'm not sure.
Definition. Or maybe it's probably here in the abstract. Yeah, there we go. Thursday, 1st of January 1970. The number of seconds. Oh, interesting. So JavaScript date is the number of milliseconds, while Unix time is the number of seconds. Learn something. Good.
Well, what the problem is that I was passing in a birth year instead of passing in a valid date.
Yeah. So even if JavaScript would now make this a date object, and this would be.
Can I ask you a question?
Yeah.
What is because is there a purpose for changing it from the approximate birth year to a specific date?
It actually doesn't matter, but I just find it more cleaner. I mean, at some point you have to put in a date, like 1st of January of year XY, and it doesn't really matter. The point here is we want the user to update, so the age group should be updated automatically. It's not necessary that each group travels into the, so every member of every age group moves at the same time in one go. That would be if we normalize all the birth dates to be on one day in the year. For example, 1st of January. I find it convenient enough to say, okay, when you click on age group, like when you click on
drop down.
When you click on the drop down, then this will be now, for example, when I click on 10 to 14, then it would be your approximate birthday would be the day that was 12 and a half years ago from today. Okay?
Yeah.
So I'm okay with that.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah, it makes sense. So it's you could do it to where everyone's changed on the same day, but
so now I'm actually kind of wondering, why does the user have the age group 45, sorry, 45, 49?
I think it's because I passed an integer instead of a date.
Yeah, that's right. But even though, I mean, it should be. Oh yeah, right. Because then it's like 1,986 milliseconds from the day 1st of January 1970 when you're born. Then it's 40.
Yeah.
48. Yeah, you're 48.
It's because of the 1970 reference. Okay.
We almost get into the ring on 5 minutes.
Okay, makes sense. All right, so that means we want something, and because I mean, we could now implement a test that is valid for exactly 5 years from now, and then automatically fails by setting a specific date. So when we, let's say we would date, new date, or better, date, parse, I don't know, you wanted 1986, okay, so 1986, 1st of January. What's going on here?
They must be American.
Yeah. So if we would do this, then this person would be in the age group
30 to 35,
but only in the year 2018. Is that actually true? 2018 minus 32. All right. So in 2 years, or maybe 3 years, I don't know, this test will fail. Isn't that unfortunate?
I thought about that.
So, and that's why usually I advise everybody or suggest to everybody to use hard-coded dates. Like the test should be as easy as possible. Just enter like hard-coded dates in here. So
the thing is, it's going to fail in real life as well, like because you have age groups that are being started as an approximate birth date.
The other day that we were
a time where like
we were like this and we were talking so
the connection is bad now. You have to can you talk again, please?
I was just saying that it's going to fail in real life as well at some point, because there's going to be people turning 35 and it's going to be stored in the system that they're still 33, for example, or 34.
Yeah. So as far as I know, there are two solutions to this. Either we use some kind of crazy time machine and override the current date and make the system believe that it's still 2018. That would be one way. The other way would be to make this date just 23 or 32 years from the current date. So this test doesn't fail in 3 years.
Yeah, but I think it still doesn't solve the issue of the actual in real life it's going to fail.
Why would it fail in real life?
Because it's not going to update the age group based on the actual person's birthday. It's going to base it based on an average.
The way how age group currently is implemented actually updates it automatically.
Yeah, it updates it. It doesn't update it on the real person's birthday. It updates it based on. So if I put my 30 to 34, which I've done, it doesn't even come close to my real birthday. So in real life, when I'm expecting it to have updated, it's not going to actually update until it gets to the fake birthday that we're starting in the new year.
No, I don't get it. So
I can turn my screen with you if you like.
Yeah. Go ahead.
He says that he had but they're vacuuming.
Yes.
Inception.
Here's my right. Well, I'm in the age group of 30 to 34, right?
Yeah.
So I have a look at there. I come to Amber, and I come here, and my birthday started as May 16th, 1986, right? So my actual birthday is 2 years before that.
Yeah, that's okay.
So it's not going to actually update, and it's going to be 2 years that it's going to say that I'm an age group that I'm not, you know?
So you're born in 1984, is that correct?
Yeah.
That makes you, how old are you? If I may
I'm
ask?
going to be 34 on Friday, actually.
So you would click 34, the system believes you are somewhere in 30 to 34 and just randomly guesses the middle of it.
Mm-hmm.
And has an error of 2 years.
Yeah.
Which I would say is okay.
I think that maybe the way of doing it, instead of presenting it for the person to choose that, I mean, it's more invasive if you ask them their birth year, you know? Then you can just start as their birth year, you know? Then it could change, like, it would maybe be 6 months off. It could be up to 11 months off, but at least it would have 2 years. Or 4 years. It could be 4 years.
I think if you have an age group of 5 years, you will always have an error. I mean, you have to pick some date. You can pick one at the very end. You can pick one at the very bottom. I don't know. Does it make sense if you?
What's the purpose here? You don't want to phrase it instead of saying group. Phrase it as ask the person their birth year and then assign them to an age group so that you can be displayed on the map as an age group. But but ask the person's birth year, or you think that's too invasive?
Yeah, I would say so.
Okay.
Because I think it's too invasive to ask for the year. I mean, the more personal data you collect from a person, the more identifiable you get.
Yeah, exactly.
That's the thing. And so I would stick with the age group. And for me, it really doesn't matter which date you pick, either the one as we do it right now, in the very middle, or at one of the ends. So if you pick the one at the end, then it will take the highest amount of time or the most amount of time to update your age group. You have to wait for 5 years until you get into another age group. Now you have to wait for 2.5 years to get into another age group, and then for 5 years again. But I'm okay with that.
Yeah, okay, makes sense. I mean, if I were 30 years old, for example, on the lower edge, then it would be 8 years faster than years earlier. But yeah.
All right. So, shall I share my screen again, or do you want to drive?
I don't know. I can drive for a little bit.
Yes, let's do that. So I'm just committing the two small changes.
Yeah.
Remove hard-coded English text or English default labels. Damn it.
I can find all the
English default labels.
No, he needs to play like a child.
There we go. So I'm going to push. And now you can share. Oh, I didn't share my screen at all. Yeah, but I pushed. All that I was doing is to change 2 lines, commit, push.
Yes.
Right, so I would suggest to fix that very test with this time not with hard-coded values, which I would prefer, but with dates relative to the current date for this very test, because it's easier, honestly. The more complex, the more logic you put into your test setup, the more things might happen. Like the more complexity a test has, the more likely it is that you're going to miss something. Like you uncovered a broken test, like a test that was not checking the behavior with already like in recent testing. So what we do right now is also a way of adding more complexity to a test and getting into the danger of adding too much complexity, which might lead to situations which we didn't expect, unexpected situations or unexpected behavior. But I think in this case, it's okay to have a date relative to the current date. And for that,
and you something like date.today.
Yes, date. So first of all, date new will always give you a date of like the time now. So that's not what we want. We want a date which was the date before 32 years or something. In this case, yeah, 32 years. 30. Oh, damn it. 32.5 years.
Yeah, can you? I don't know if you can do like this. You can do it on the...
No, you can't. So you can do date parse and add a date. But what you cannot do is to say 30 years from now or 30 years ago. You have to use a plugin or a library, which I already added. The plugin for JavaScript is called Moment.js. So in Ruby or Rails has helper methods, convenience method for this, and those read really nicely. Like they put convenient methods on integers, so you can say 30 dot, and then, for example, 30 dot years dot ago, which is an amazing way of writing. Yeah, that would be the Ruby way. But unfortunately, in the JavaScript world, that's not possible. So
Yeah, that'd be really nice.
use Moment.js. And I don't know, there are tests where I use this already.
Yeah, I was working with those unit tests.
Yeah, exactly. I added a lot of unit tests for the user because those getters and setters are awesome, great examples how to write unit tests.
So I did this. I kind of copied really what you did. I know this is in the future, right? And if I put years here, it fails. But if I put weeks, it passes. That's what I was talking about.
Interesting.
But this, I think, should be null, right? Because there's no way for the person to add a birthday.
Yes, but if you have a getter and setter, it's good.
Yeah.
Good
Like
practice to just have all possible ranges of a value covered, even though it will actually never happen. So we have at least do this kind of checking in the backend. The backend should always store just the dates, nothing else. And we don't want age groups be stored as strings. So if you send a string to the backend, this string should be rejected. But yeah, the backend is supposed only to store dates. Here in the front end, it doesn't make that much of sense, but I would, anyway suggest it to have it, just in case.
Yeah.
So this should.
But then this one here is also failing, which is it's like I don't know if there's something I'm missing, but it seems exactly the same as you did, just with using 118 instead of using. So you set up a user.
Yes, exactly. So this one was supposed to uncover a bug in the current implementation. So I was anticipating that this test is going to fail, and this test must fail because the edge case of 1000 plus is not covered.
100 plus is covered, no?
Is it?
I don't know. I mean, it's an option. I don't know if it actually.
So this, I'm pretty sure that this test is going to fail unless you change something of the actual implementation.
So if I hit 100 plus, then I inspect. Yeah. Oh, it gives today's date.
Yes. It's doing just something. I don't know what it is doing, but it's definitely doing the wrong thing. Yeah. So this test is failing, and it's supposed to fail. Cannot read to lowercase of now. Interesting. Birthday in the future.
And
yeah,
this here
also is supposed to fail. Yeah. Yes. So, and the other one, the test at the very bottom, what's on?
Oh, I started doing setting up this as well because you did the upstate's birthday, right? And then if it's an age group less than 0, and then I just made a user, an expected moment, added a new moment, and then added 2 years to the expected moment.
Yeah, so moment is the name of this library. It's called Moment.js. If you scroll at the very top of the page, you see that I'm importing the moment right here.
Yeah.
So this comes. You can also check out the documentation of that.
Yeah, I've taken a look. That's why, because when I went to add time to it, I wanted to see if that was possible, you know. And then they talk about that. They also talk about cloning it if you want to not actually replace the value of the variable. And we talk a little bit about date math and time math. Yes.
Yeah.
Have a look at this. But yeah, so I added 2 years to it because it's less than 0.
Yeah.
And
Yeah, that's great. So you're going to be born in 2 years.
Yeah.
I mean, you do know when the person is going to be born in 3 months or something, but
Yeah.
you're not going to know if a person is going to be born in 2 years.
Yeah. Try in 2 years, but doesn't mean you're going to be successful. So it's failing with this here. Factory guide does not have the application store. Use manual setup before using make.
Yeah, that can be. Yeah. Did we forgot to do this manual setup thing?
Yeah, I don't know why. I mean, because it's the exact same test as this update's birthday, and this update's birthday is passing. I think. I mean, well, maybe it's not.
I see it. I see it. So you have a typo on line 101. What you want to do is to, so the semicolon, yeah, exactly. And that's why. So all the other lines, 102, 103, and so on, those are evaluated not during the test case, but when the file is evaluated, which is way too early. Yeah, now this is going to
build there.
Yeah, looks like a build area. You have one curly brace.
Curly brace down here.
Or maybe two less. That's also possible. Huh?
No, because I actually deleted one because I think. And not read property split of null.
Yeah, so that makes sense. So it's hard, for me. It's also more difficult to debug front-end tests and back-end tests because those back-end tests give you more helpful error messages. I know that this error message is what we want to see because I know what I've written, like how does the implementation look like and where is the split thing going on. For now, let's say.
But is this correct? Is this what? Is this to you're expecting the birthday to be null, or you're expecting it to be some future moment?
I would not have it in the database. This is a case that's not supposed to ever happen. It should just not break. If the birthday is null in that case, I'm absolutely fine with it. It doesn't make any sense at all. Like it will never happen. It's just for some strange reasons, just to have it covered.
Yeah, the only thing is like instead of saying user.set age group to null, it just inside this function just to send an error message to the user saying like this is a null date or something like this, and then
true. So actually, on line 108, you should say something like -0 or something, which doesn't make any sense at all. A better test case is actually what you just did. Like, what's going on when I set null? You can do that as well. Then just rename this test case, not age group smaller than 0, just age group equals nil. Or null in JavaScript. No. You can even put in 3 equal signs because that would be. Or I always get into confusion. What was 3 equal sign again? Is it
yeah, it's supposed to be, yeah, like 2 is
because 1 is value and so there are 2 different kinds of comparisons. Equality comparison, a strict equality comparison. Yeah. So that doesn't mean anything like reference. Okay, so that's another thing. But yeah. Okay, back to topic. It's all right. So this will be true by any means if age group is not. So this is actual JavaScript syntax.
So you expected this to fail, but how are you? We don't want it to fail. Perhaps the guy's not gonna like it, and we're not supposed to have failing tests.
Say it again, please.
Like how are we're going to need to implement a way for this to stop failing.
Yeah, exactly. So now the test is failing. So in the test, we are challenging this setter method. We're challenging it with a lot of trash, like anything we can put into there, strings, numbers, whatever. It should just not never crash. It should not raise an error. If it cannot do anything with the provided value, it should just set birthday to null, or just don't do anything. It's also a proper, like an acceptable way. And right now it's crashing. Like it's not. It's crashing. So that's not what it's supposed to be. Does that make sense?
I think it has to do with, like, if I put here week, for example, and now this is a different use case. But the one that I was doing up here, like, it wouldn't pass with years. But weeks.
That's weird.
Because it's a future birthday as well. So there's something that it doesn't like about you talking about a future birthday. I think it yeah.
I don't know. Weird. For me, this looks okay. Let it split them now. All right.
No. Hay un viaje de 10
Why is this one passing with weeks, but it's not passing with years?
It doesn't make any sense at all. It should work.
It has the same error as the cannot read property join undefined. So I tried changing this to, because I read on and undefined, you know, but this doesn't. It doesn't pass either.
Yeah, because can read property unjoined undefined is an error that's not occurring in the test case. It's an error that's occurring in the implementation. So no matter what, as soon as you put in this value, this test will fail because it's raising an error. It's not supposed to raise an error. Never. But what I find, I'm curious why you have the syntax is to be n. Can you open the editor again?
Yeah.
So on 68.
Let me see. No, it's not this. It's. So
It's A. So you can say, but probably you can say A or N, depending like what's better to read.
yeah, you can say unnull, or you can say n undefined, n object.
But I'm pretty sure that chai also has explicit syntax for to be undefined or something.
Yeah, this is chai.
It has to be undefined. I'm very, very sure. I never had to say to be n undefined.
Yeah, so I don't know. Maybe this. I don't know if this is their official. This is a cheat sheet, so maybe the person. But
Yeah, I can show it to you. So mark chai. No,
yeah, it still has the same error, you know.
Yeah, no.
And actually, in English, you would say n undefined, you know, because it's based on the sound, you know. If the first sound is a consonant sound like university, then it's a university. But if it's undefined, is a vowel sound, so it would be an undefined, an object, a string, a null, an instance. So I mean, this would be the proper English way.
Something in Slack.
Yeah, let me go there.
Yeah, then you can say expect null to be null, just like that.
So you could just, instead of null, you can just say to be null, to be undefined,
and to
like
be
this.
undefined, yeah.
I mean, that's shorter, so. But yeah, so it's still having the same error, but because it's not undefined, it's I don't know. Yeah, or it should be undefined because it's saying undefined.
But yeah, no. So that's a different thing. So this error happens in the implementation. Let's go back to the test. Let's see if we like the test line. We expect the age group to be undefined. Actually, if you provide a so if the birthday for some strange reason is in the future, for example.
But it doesn't, it's just if it's years in the future, remember? So this passes. If it's weeks in the future, then it's okay. Ah, no, it's failing.
The B is not a function.
No, here I think.
Now you can just say 2.b dot, not 2.b, and then parentheses. Just like that, yeah. And now the parentheses, you can remove this as well. Okay. So B apparently is not a function. It's, I don't know what, but it's not a function. Yeah, and this should be okay.
I expected 0 to 4 to be null.
Yeah, which makes sense because
it's weeks.
Yeah.
Be 0.
And
now if it's years,
so the birthday, which is 2 weeks from now.
Yeah.
Then you will. Yeah, it's actually not correct. Is it? No, it's not. So I would say that you uncovered a bug, because if we want to be very clear, that should be not in the group 0 to 4, because if you're born in the future, then you're not an age group. You're not born yet.
I mean, still in this, you will be as soon as you're born, I guess.
Yeah, I mean, but now.
In 2 weeks, but yeah.
But anyhow, I mean, I have to think about it, why the behavior is like that, but yeah, weird.
It's passing because I think it's I mean, I don't know, because we can't click on it here. The only thing we can click on is 0 to 4, right?
Yeah, but this unit model test is has nothing to do with the component.
No. Yeah, I know. It's testing. The stuff to do with the component is what you test in acceptance tests, right? Or integration
test. Okay, so the unit test is only testing the get instead of the
Yeah, so you can see it chooses, if I choose 0 to 4, though, it chooses the date in the past, not in the future. It doesn't let you change. Oh yeah, because I shouldn't be able to get this to pass by by passing in the future.
So maybe you can spend some time and now also will think about this problem, like those edges should actually be kind of very accurate. So if you have a date, then you can absolutely say this is in that direction, like it's in the range from to. So that should be accurate. But I have no idea why this passes right now. This should fail for sure. Start of day. So start of day, by the way, removes the time point of the date. So it will be midnight. If there would be start of year, it would make total sense, because you add a couple of weeks, and you go back to the beginning of the year. But it says the start of day. Anyhow, I would say let's continue on because it's taking too much time here. We want to find the errors in the actual code.
So then this is because the rest of these edge cases are kind of like this for example, it's not possible for them to actually. Yeah.
I mean, it is possible. Just think of a backend, and there's a hacker who is adding his birthday manually to the backend with an HTTP request or whatnot. This would be acceptable.
Yeah.
And he gives us a date which is in the future. And I mean, the backend will just respond, well, okay, then your birthday is in the future. Why not?
Yeah.
And then if you would visit the front end, then you would get a date which is in the future, and then this input, this date is going to be as the input for this getter method, and then it crashes.
Mm-hmm.
Just to give you an example, a theoretical example. Now, let's go to the implementation of the user model. Can you open the units? Can you open app models user.js? No, that's the backend. We want the front end. There you go. So I pasted a link where it explains getters and setters, or the object model in general of Ember. But part of the object model is having getters and setters. Usually you have just properties, and Ember gives you getters and setters right away. But if you want, you can override those getters and setters.
Mm-hmm.
And this makes absolutely sense if you have a computed property, for example, our age group. So we have some kind of random birth date internally, and we compute an age group based on that, based on the birth date and the current date. And we want also to have an option to set the age group, just the age group, not the birth date, just the age group. And then an approximate birthday should be chosen. Also, again, based on the age group and the current date.
Yeah.
And I implemented quite a lot of it already. So it's also using moment, exactly. And so let's go through to the getter. So moment.js has a method which is called diff, which gives you a duration, I think, between two dates. That's at that moment itself will have the current date internally, and when you say diff and say this get birthday, and additionally provide the parameter years, then you get the number of years between. And here's it. And here's it, because when you're 8 weeks in the future, and you say, give me the difference of years between now and 8 weeks in the future, it's still 0 years.
Yeah, exactly.
Group 0 to 4. Found it. Makes sense. Okay, this is what it's doing. So maybe we can improve it a little bit.
Can't we say something like if years is greater than 0?
I wouldn't make it too complex and too complicated. Maybe it's not that terrible if we have this uncertainty. Like, I mean, it's a theoretical use case anyways. I would rather have less complex code than being overly accurate at this place. If the explanation is that moment diff has this parameter years, and based on that it gives you the duration or the number of years, I'm absolutely happy with that.
Okay.
Yeah. Yeah, it's all right. It's all right. Absolutely. So then you have the number of years, and then you just say, okay, give me the age group in which this number of year is like included. I'm not quite sure if there's a more elegant solution to it. If JavaScript has something like this, like you have an array of arrays, and the nested arrays always have 2 items from 2, and you just traverse these arrays in order to find the matching age group. Does that make sense?
Kind of. I mean, is there a way that I can drop like a console log in here and see?
Yes, that's possible. You can always drop a console log, and for example, yes, age group, perfect, and yeah, oh yeah. You can also just say age group because console log will give you both values.
So this is an array, so it's going to give me all the values, right?
Yeah, exactly. So when you now run the test, you will see those age groups.
How I'm gonna survive.
Yeah, this is something I didn't know how to do. So I come here.
Survive for a week.
I found a pretty decent way to debug.
I already did it.
Yeah.
0, 4, 5, 9. Ah, there you go. Ah, this. Yeah. So this is what you're saying. You always have 2 because it's yeah, the age range. There's 2 numbers, 0 and 4. Okay. How does this become? How does this start as an array?
Yes, so you can find it when you look for age groups in this file. You see how this array is initialized. I think it's at the bottom of the file. No, that one. Yeah, there we go. So in on line number 52.
Ah,
so.
Okay.
I was researching a way how to quickly initialize an array. And you can apparently, on newer versions, you can say array from, and then give a length that will give you 0, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5.
So this 21 is because of there's 21 different options that we have for age groups.
Yeah, until 19 and 20.
So much better. Because you saw the way, like the case this, then do this, case that, then do this. So you got it working, but then it was like, oh man, this is.
Yeah, I know. I mean, I have nothing against case statements. It's all right. You can. I mean, it's way easier to read, right? So the 3 lines, they might be more concise, but also more complex, like harder to read for a human being.
Yeah.
Just consider that.
Yeah. But the fact that you can set the age group to an array, or you can set it to a hash as well, or you can set it to...
Look up the documentation. I didn't know that syntax before. So I was just looking for something like, in Ruby, you have the concept of a range. You can say 1.5, and then we'll give you an array initialized with 1.34, including 5, I think.
Uh-huh.
So, and I was just looking for the same thing in JavaScript, and this is the far you can get, the farthest you can get.
Oh, you found this on the set documentation?
No, this is not. Is it set? No, I think it's array. Array from.
Ah.
Portuguese documentation of Mozilla.
Yeah. Ah, yeah, look at that. Translate the page.
I think you don't have to.
Yeah. The information we're looking for is written in English. From and arguments, right from S, right from M.
Yeah, so array from is doing interesting things depending what you give it. You can give it a string, and then you can iterate those characters. Yeah. So in this case, we have first we have an array of 0 to 19, and then we take that array and make another array, and this new array has for every integer, for every item, the array I plus 5.
I times 5, yeah.
No, I times 5. I'm sorry.
Uh-huh. And then I times 5 plus 4. Yeah.
And that gives us all the options. But there are two different options. Like, at least one. This one age group which is not included in here. Which one?
100 plus, right?
Yes.
So you could say like you could set up like something well, like an if else, or
I would just append one age group at the very end after that.
Here.
No, this is going to initialize the array, but this array you can just add one additional element to it if you want. That's possible. But just to give you the idea, we can do that later.
Yeah.
Let's just go through the code.
Mm-hmm.
So that was what I was thinking about when I was writing the code. There's one age group which we didn't cover, and that's a good edge case test.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And then you grab the age group and you join it with the.
Yeah. Join means you have an array, and you first of all you coerce every item to a string, and then you connect all the items with in this case a hyphen.
Yeah.
And then you have those age group strings. And you have to somehow do the other way around, and then you have to split it first. And this is where we have the undefined method, because we're passing an age group, and age group is nil, and this will raise an error. Age group null. There's no split method. On null, depend on null. Line number 37. So this is where the split error.
Yeah, okay, that makes sense.
All right, and when we have from 2 out of this age group, so we split it, and then we expect this. We also have to test this for the group 100 plus. Yes. We also have the group 100 plus, and this wouldn't work because there's nothing to split. So we have to catch that somehow. Yeah, maybe there's a nicer way how to do it. I don't know.
Probably.
Maybe you should check for a regex. I would say that's a nicer way to do it.
Yeah.
Yeah, in Ruby at least, you can do, for example, a switch statement with a regular expression. So anything that has numbers, followed by a hyphen, followed by numbers again, falls into this group. And then they have the special cases 100 plus, and then everything else. I think I would do that, yeah. No, the regex would be \d for decimal, then a plus for at least one decimal number. Yeah, but \d. \d is a special character in regexes. Now, first /, then /. So the /s are necessary in order to indicate in regex. \d is just one character, not two, because it means the special character any decimal number. Plus means at least one and potentially infinitely many decimal numbers. Then a hyphen. I hope that's just minus. I'm not quite sure. Then the same thing again, \d plus. That would be the regex for our H group, and no \. We go for the trailing /. No. So the last backslash is not necessary. There you have the reg. So as far as I know, this should work for our age group, but it doesn't catch 100 plus. We can have a separate case statement for that. So you could, for example, say switch age group and try to find a way how to. So in Ruby, this is possible. Have a case that's catching everything that falls into the regex. But I'm not sure. This is just an idea that just comes to my mind. I haven't researched it. Maybe this is not even possible in JavaScript. I know this is possible in Ruby, but I'm pretty sure this is not possible in JavaScript. And you have to think of something else.
What are you gonna do?
Switch statement. Yeah, I mean, I would search for JavaScript regex switch statement.
Okay. And
Come on, I'm going to put the weight where it was 20 euros, and you're gonna stay there. And then the rest you have to go walking.
yeah, this is what I was using before. You know, there's what we put switch, and then you put pass in, and then you have cases. You know, but
So apparently there's one example, but the person who answered that does discourage its use. I don't know if we should. I don't know. Anyhow, so next, after we split it, which works for the ordinary age groups, we have those two groups. We make integers from those groups.
It's not a string though; it's an array, right?
Yeah, after the split, that's an array. It's an array consisting of presumably two items, from and to. And then you make integers out of this. I'm not quite sure if there's a more elegant solution to this than having all those parse if statements in there. Probably there is.
Yeah. This parse int is like something like passing two underline I method in Ruby.
Yeah. And then you have you divide it. So you start with at from, and then add the center. So that's the like placing, just using the center of the age group as a reference date. So you start with from and add half the way to the date to 2.
Yeah.
Parent 2 minus parent from is a duration. You divide it by 2 and add it on top of the from date. And then you have your years, which would be, if you have an age group 30 to 35, you would have first 30, then you divide 5 by 2, 5 because 35 minus 30.
It's 30 to 34, right? Is 5 years, including 30.
True. So 30 to 34. Then you have, it works in any case.
34 minus 30 is 4, divided by 2 is 2.
32 then.
Yeah.
Right. So
Plus
32.
32, yeah. Yeah, you'd have to use to add 2 or to add 3, but
in my mind, I was thinking it was 32.5. So
why can't you just say 2.5 here and then
2.5?
delete all this? You know?
Yeah, just in case you have the age group will at some point be more than 4 years. You would say 2 years, by the way.
Yeah, sure. But you want to leave it just in case the age groups change?
Yeah, I'm just anticipating further future changes. This is going to be empty. I think the cache is closed after 10 o'clock, which would be now. No. Probably we have to. I have to leave this room. I don't know if someone's coming.
Oh yeah.
Let's see. Yeah. So, but then you have this years, and then you say, okay, birthday. Then you subtract the years, and then you say start of day, and then to date, and then that's your birthday.
Yeah.
Which you can use. This is
You
how
can-
how what.
You set it equal to now.
Yeah, so moment parentheses gives you a moment object. This moment object is kind of a wrapper. And this wrapper has, by default, just the current date.
Yeah. And then you subtract the years that you come up with from this calculation, from the years and the moment. And then you start it off at midnight, and then you turn that into a date. And then you set the properties with that date.
Yeah, so this birthday to date is basically birthday is the wrapper, birthday to date gives you the JavaScript date apparently.
But
Unwraps
I don't know. To implement the, I mean, it's not very elegant to just say what like I just did. If the key is equal to null.
Yeah, maybe this is one way to do it. Sure. This is a way to fix the front-end test. And anyway, I mean, the only thing that matters is that the tests are passing. And I'm more concerned about the beauty of the tests, not about the beauty of the implementation code. Mm-hmm. So as long as the implementation code is doing what it's supposed to do, it's fine. Yeah, and you, by the way, you're using Ruby syntax here.
Oh, really? Of course I am. Okay.
No, it's if and then parentheses.
And you have to
curly braces. Yeah, and then you use curly braces here, and that's
yeah, that's right. And then
of else
here, and then open up another curly brace, and then I get rid of the end, right?
Yeah.
And there, there.
What's going on?
Getting like something. Birthdays left.
Huh?
The test is user test. No, the demographic farm test. Yeah, this birthday I left as.
Is the kitchen closed now? So, yeah. In any case, someone was coming here and asked everybody to leave. What's going to happen? All right. Okay. All right.
Yesterday it closed at 10, I think. But we never did.
All right, let's see. Cool. Yeah. Now. Maybe the RFID is has this a clock. Maybe you cannot enter the kitchen anymore after 10 p.m. That's probably the case now. Yeah. All right. So Matt, back to you.
Yeah. So I was expecting that this would stop saying split of null, you know, because it wouldn't, because it's null. So I expected it to not even go into the split.
Yeah, it should break early. It should not go. It should not raise. But just make sure that this is the actual test where you put in null. What you could do here is use this regex in the if statement, not test for equals null. But if the regex dot matches, or I don't know how it works, regex dot matches key or key dot matches regex, and your regex needs to be the regex that you just had. And I just said regex as a substitute for this. Exactly.
Yeah, I can check that. That?
Yeah, and just remove regex. And I think you can say key dot match and then add the.
I don't know if you can, if match is just for on strings, you know.
That's true. Maybe it's also the other way around. So regex dot match and then something. Can you? I'll just quickly Google it.
Yeah, I can have a look.
Prototype match. So it's on string.
You have regex got prototype. Red match. Array.find. Yeah, you can. What is this from?
All has properties.
¿Cómo sería? Vos y tu hermano. No. Vos ves a la hermana de un amigo aparece a tu amigo.
Then do the following. I will do something like this. I'll put that in Slack. So is if exist. So there's an Ember helper. I think. What is present? There you go. Here.
In Slack?
Yeah, so there's a link in Slack. I would do the following. If is present key and key dot match.
Present. Yes.
Damn it. Something like this here. You see it? In Slack? Yeah.
Is present key. Ah, okay. And key that match.
And is present is an imported helper method from Ember. You can see the import statement when you open the link.
But this
Are there too many parentheses?
yeah,
Or one.
regex.
Yeah, so now you have to import is present. And I think that should give you a start.
Is
Yeah,
present
is not defined. You have to import it. That's in the link. The import statement. You can just copy that. Mm-hmm.
Now it's back to the same error.
But
And now it's properly split.
Hence each case is now can be split of now. Can you show me the code once again?
Huh?
So the test is actually the getter test. Is it the getter test? Like
Which? The test is setter.
setter, right? And what would we change? So user.js, I think. The tab next to it. Yeah, so we were changing the set age group. Yeah. Why is present key and match? No, that's not possible. Where do we have split? Just there?
Yeah, just here. It's exiting else though.
Can you click? Can you select just the test? Yeah. Not present. And something like not present. Because console log now will don't print anything.
Yeah, it's not even entering here. You know?
Yeah, but console log key will not print anything. Key is nil or null. You should there is console log I am null or something. Like string I am null. There you go.
Printing that either, you know.
Mm-hmm.
It's not why it's not returning null. It's entering here, you know.
Yeah, because we didn't say we say it's present and not exclamation mark present. We want the opposite. If it's present, then we want to go into the other branch. If it's not, this should.
Oh, this I already have a console log here, right? That's why it's.
Yeah.
Not entering.
We have the statement just the wrong way around. So this is we have line number 39, line number 240 should go into the else. Line number 42 to 550 should go into the if.
But it didn't print this this console log either.
Yeah, because it was never reaching. Yeah.
Else.
No, this should.
Yeah.
Did you save it?
Huh?
What do we get as?
Run the test again.
Can you remove the other print statements, please? Because maybe the print statements pile up.
Undefined to be null. We got a different error.
Yeah, nice. So the print statement is unreliable because apparently the print statement gets stacked and the later print statements are not visible anymore on your screen. So don't just leave it there just to make sure that it's actually the reason why. Maybe you should just remove the console log from the H group initialization at the bottom of this file. Yeah.
Where is that console log coming from?
Yeah. Where is it?
Here.
There it is.
It's in the get.
Yeah. And then you should see your desired output in your terminal. So.
I'm null.
Yeah. You're null. Okay.
This would be, we would want this to be return undefined though, right? Or no? Now the test is saying expected undefined to be null.
Yeah, because apparently the default value of this property is undefined, not null. I hate that JavaScript has two values. or null, like undefined and null. It doesn't make any sense to me. But yeah, it doesn't matter either. It just shouldn't crash. So it's fine if it's either undefined or null, whatever. It just should not crash.
So here, though,
yeah, that's one way to do it. Oh.
What time is it there? It's after 10, huh?
Yeah. I'm going to
Hey, Pat.
after the. Does it work?
Passing test.
Yay. Nice.
Yeah. So then this should be undefined as well, maybe. But we haven't set up the. Oh yeah, it's this one. Born in 1900. Ah, yeah. Is this we haven't set up for the? Are you still there? Nope. Mm. Hello.
All right, Matt. Yeah, I'm with my phone. The battery is done.
Ah, okay.
Do you have an option to stop the broadcast somehow? Because
I don't know. I just have a live button, and I can hang. But I don't know if when you hang up, it doesn't automatically stop.
I think probably the broadcast will stop when everybody has left the call. That would make sense at all. Otherwise, you would have a lot of blank material.
Yeah, I think they probably have some tests for that.
Yeah. So my battery of my phone is at 40%. Actually, I would say let's call it a day, maybe.
Yeah, I think that's fine. I don't know if I'm too late to make it to that meetup, but I might try to get over to that. You know?
Say it again.
I said it might be too late to get over to that meetup, but I might try to do that.
Ah, you wanted to go to the Python meetup.
Yeah.
I see. I thought Faith wanted to go to a Python meetup.
No, I was trying to go, but I don't know if it's worth it because there's 80 people that have that they're going, and there's 38 people on the wait list, and there's one. There's only 4 people ahead of me. Yeah, I think I'm gonna go, man. So,
it is definitely worth, because out of the 80 people, only 40 will come.
Yeah, exactly.
And
that's
there
what I
was
was thinking.
plenty of space for you.
So I just don't know if I can get there in an hour and a half. Is the only thing.
So I mean, what did we learn today? You learned about JavaScript dates. We learned about how to use the Moment.js library. We learned how to write front-end tests and unit tests, what to pay attention to, like be as I've left the call. Interesting. be as so lower complexity is better for tests, but in this very case it was okay to add some complexity to it. How to debug things, we can use console log even in test. There's a better way to do it. I'm now debugging my Node applications with Node -inspect. I haven't figured out how to do this with Ember. Maybe that's a topic for next regular meeting. Yeah. Anything else? Yeah, I would say general debugging, just how to do, like where to start and what's the best approach. So first you write the test, then you see some error messages, and then you know, okay, these are the error messages that I want to see. Like when you see those error messages, you know, now it's failing because it's supposed to fail, and I can start to write the implementation code. Right?
Mm-hmm.
I think that was something that you asked a couple of days before. Like, we were changing things in the test and did nothing. Sorry, we were changing things in the implementation code, and the test wasn't affected by this. At some point, you get a feeling for how far did I get? Like, is it the moment when I have to start writing implementation code? But that's just routine.
I've noticed that there's with the other stuff that I'm testing as well in Rails, and sometimes if I don't know the implementation, it's easier to actually implement it and then go back and test, you know.
But then you have to break things. If you have to break, so it's better. It gives you more confidence to write the test first and then do the implementation, because you can double check. So it's just very, very unlikely when you have the test read, you write an implementation and it's green, you can be almost sure that the test is doing what you expect. While when you write the implementation and the test passes, I had this situation often that I was testing nothing in the end. The test was misconfigured or whatever. Yeah. Just like it as it was with this male-female thingy.
Yeah.
No?
Yeah, for sure.
All right.
Yeah, I'll be around at some point. I don't know if you're going to be around. If you are, and maybe I'll go there and try to have the implementation for these unit tests.
Cool. That would be awesome.
All right, man. Good to see you.
All right.
See you soon.
Bye-bye. Good luck.